Welcome to Southern Outdoors. I'm Debbie Crawford. We are at the Department of Fish and Wildlife in Frankfort, Kentucky, where we're going to learn more about the Peregrine Falcons and their comeback in the state. Kate Hayden and Lauren Taylor are going to tell us more about them.
Peregrine falcons used to be on the endangered species list, but they were taken off in 1999. And they were on the endangered species list because they experienced a great decline in the middle part of the 1900s, and that was primarily due to DDT. The use of that pesticide and its presence in the environment created very thin eggshells for the peregrine falcons that would break when they would try to incubate them, and for a while we actually had no peregrine falcons in Kentucky. But DDT was outlawed, and we had a great restoration effort for peregrine falcons that's led to a great recovery for them. We now have 13 nesting pairs statewide, and like I said, the bird was taken off the endangered species list. And so right now we're in what's called the post-delisting monitoring period for the birds, and so we're monitoring them because we want to make sure that they're still doing well and they don't need to be put on the endangered species list again. Peregrine falcons have been nesting on the Milton-Madison Bridge since 2002, and so we've been monitoring them there extensively ever since. Peregrine falcons typically lay 4 eggs and will hatch 2 to 4 chicks each year, and so this nest was very productive with 4 chicks being hatched. There is 2 males and 2 females, and so this is a good productive nesting effort. Because we banned so many peregrine falcons, oftentimes we know the history of the adults that are nesting at each site. And at this site we have an adult female that was hatched in 2008 from the Trimble County Power Station. Her name is Kessel, and she's been here ever since she was 1.5 years old. This year she actually paired with a new male. The new male is unbanded, and so we don't know where he's from. And he was hard to get a look at, but some local photographers got a picture of him for us. And so peregrine falcons eat almost exclusively birds. You'll see them bring many pigeons to the nest box and larger songbirds. Occasionally they'll take a bat, but they want to catch things on the wing, and so most of what they eat is birds. And so you can see here the chicks are being fed. This is probably an oriole, I think, that was brought to the nest in this shot. And the chicks have that swollen area under their throat. That's called a crop, and that's what stores food as the first part of their digestive system. So in this video you can see us banding the nestling peregrine falcons near their nest box underneath the Milton-Madison Bridge, and so this is how we can tell each individual apart. We're simply putting bands on their legs that give unique identifiers, so that if we can get them in a photograph or see them through a spotting scope later in life, that we'll be able to tell the individuals apart and track their productivity and survival. So each band has unique colors and letters and numbers on it, and all of this information goes into a national database that if you find a dead bird or get a good photograph of a bird or see one through your binoculars, you can look up that information and see where that bird was from. So these nestlings were about 25 days old when we banded them, and that's the age that we aim for because at this point their bone structure is just about full grown, but they're going to be growing muscles and feathers from there on out. So just 25 days ago this bird was an egg. And you can see right now it's covered in white down. Over the next 2 weeks this bird is going to get to the age where it's learning to fly, and it will lose that white down and gradually turn a brown mottled look. It takes them about 2 years to get their gray and white sleek appearance that the adults have. So while we have the birds in hand, we also test them for a disease that can affect the survival of the young ones, and it's called trichomonas. This is like a bad case of strep throat for the young falcons, and it can lead to death. And so we test them for it, overnight the samples out, and if they have it, we can come back and treat the birds while still in the nest. So we cover the bird's face during the banding process to keep them calm. Birds of prey tend to be an out of sight, out of mind type bird. They stay calm if you cover their eyes. And another thing that we do while we have the birds in hand is we check them for feather mites. This is another thing that can affect their survival. So we look under their wings. This is usually the first place that the mites appear, and if we find them, we treat them. We also try to keep the nest boxes very clean to prevent the feather mites from occurring in the first place.
Peregrine falcons are still a species of concern in our state, and we only have 13 territorial pairs. One of the reasons why we enjoy going to the Milton-Madison Bridge Project so much is because of Walsh's cooperation with us in the installation of the nesting box. Kentucky Fish and Wildlife constructed the box, and Walsh was instrumental in its placement under the bridge and the construction of a nesting platform for the banders, which a lot of people don't think about. It is tough for us to get under those bridges and band these chicks every year, which is really important in our monitoring program. And because of the platform, it's really easy and much safer for the biologists to get under the bridge and to band the chicks every year. And Walsh placed the platform and installed it along with a nesting box, so we didn't even have to do that. But it is really easy for us to get in there and change out the gravel every year, which decreases the chances of these birds and chicks getting disease. Because of Walsh's cooperation with Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, they were the first recipients of our Cooperator of the Year award, and they received it in 2012. And they've continued to help us out year after year with this project, and we're extremely grateful for all that they do for the falcons in Kentucky and how they have made it easy for us to access this nesting box for years to come, and it will produce many, many chicks, and the falcons will hopefully flourish and get back to points that we want them to be. I would like to encourage everyone who thinks that they've seen a peregrine falcon or is interested in learning more about our program to visit our website at www.fw.ky.gov and check out the webpage. And anyone who sees or finds a leg band, please call the number that's attached to the band and report it to us, and that way we can save it in our records for future reference. Thank you.